Reb's amazing.
Oh yeah, great guitar player.
Him and Nuno, and I'd have to say Vito, as the 𝙈𝙺𝘼𝘾 disciples of taking it and making it their own thing.
Is this accurate? 𝙈𝙺𝘼𝘾𝙇𝙀. If you look at that, does that look accurate to you?
That riff, somebody else I remember asked me, they go, Zakk, I thought you got it from 𝙈𝙺𝘼𝘾𝙇𝙀
Yeah.
It's the same fingering. And I was like, no.
We got also some Reb Beach in here too.
Reb's amazing.
Oh yeah, great guitar player.
Without a doubt.
Oh, Leslie West, legend too.
Him and Nuno, and I'd have to say Vito, as far as the 𝙈𝙺𝘼𝘾 disciples of taking it and
making their own.
Making it their own thing.
Yep, Reb and Vito
their
all
love
day,
for
dude.
𝙈𝙺𝘼𝘾, but I mean to make it, Reb just, it sounds like he's, and his love for
Have you ever met Vito
Alan
before?
Holdsworth too, though. I mean, it's just like Reb is just, it sounds like he's picking it, but it's legato, but it's him tapping and it scales.
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
So it's so fluid. Have you ever met or hung out with Vito before? Because I know he's kind of.
Yeah, we did the tour with Vito and stuff like that. So, White Lion with Ozzy on the No Rest for the Wicked tour.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
You got any good stories about Vito? You ever seen him practicing back there?
No, I don't know what Vito's. He's been out
in the game for a while.
But I remember reading an article with with Vito, and like the producer was like, "No, don't be putting any ripping on the record." And he was like, he was just like, "I'm out of here."
That was towards the end. That was '92 probably. They're like, yeah, the whole sound was changing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would have been like, just keep playing, man, because you already got a following. You got, you know what I'm saying?
It's
like
there's a lot of guys that would change, and there are a lot of guys that did change, that did adjust to the genre of grunge and tried to implement that to keep the career alive. But the guys that were really stuck to their craft, not stuck, but made the name for themselves with their own character and own identity, took it, I think, a lot more personally. They didn't want to change, nor should they have to. Vito is one of those guys to me. That was his. So many people conformed to grunge.
My whole
and
thing
heavier
is like,
stuff.
as
You didn't have to,
musicians, all of us, it's just like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? I mean, you're gonna go get a crummy job that you're sitting at and you're miserable, or we could be loading up the van, building our empire. I'd rather be loading up the van and us be our own bosses, without a doubt.
No matter what happens.
No, I don't care how bad it gets. We'll put the wedding band together, a cover band together, but whatever it is we gotta do. But I am not gonna be having some crummy job. As long as we're doing this and we're paying the light bill and we can pay our rent, we're winning.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters, I mean, for musicians.
Very cool.
End of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're playing Madison Square Garden or we're playing the Viper Room in front of 10 people.
Yeah.
If it's paying the bills and we got to load up the van and it's freezing out or it's raining, I couldn't care less.
Wow.
Because if you love playing, that's what you do. That's it, man.
And here's more crazy wild guitars you're talking about.
Love 'em.
Conklin. You ever heard of them? Wild, dude.
Wow.
You don't see these anywhere on Reverb either, by the way. Very obscure, bizarre.
Love them. Well, this is like the Robin Wedge.
I remember, okay,
Yes.
very familiar with Robin. Robin is back, So they're actually putting guitars out again. They're taking old bodies that have been sitting in their Houston factory,
wow.
putting them, assembling them back together.
Good.
And dude, I got one of them. They're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I got one of the Raiders with like a great Kmart
Yeah, the
blue light special
craftsmanship on
paint
those
job.
things have always, whenever I played one, they're great.
Woo, right? The
Yeah,
next,
without a doubt.
God. So then I gotta ask you this: is this accurate? 𝙈𝙺𝘼𝘾𝙇𝙀. If you look at that, does that look accurate to you? We gotta do the test here. Gotta do the test. And, well, I'm on screen to grab a Sharpie real quick because you got to approve it. Is that true? Is it real?
Well, I mean, actually, where I got this riff, because you get things from where you learn things. You're a byproduct of what you learn, which is always a great thing. You learn things, so this way you can either tweak them, twist them, or bend them, and then it's just like, wow, I didn't even know where it came from. But I mean, that riff, it dong dong down, dong dong down, from the F sharp to the A, the high A. And I remember when I was, 16 years old, 15, 16, my guitar teacher, Leroy Wright, showed me how to play Purple Haze. I was just like, oh, that's just like the technique there, dong, dong, dong. And then somebody else I remember asked me, they go, Zakk, I thought you got it from Diary of a Madman. It's the same fingering. And I was like, no, actually, I got it from Miracle, from Foxy Lady. But then look at how much that I'm just saying, like certain musical movements or whatever, it's just like it's in this song, this song, that, but you wouldn't know unless somebody pointed it out.
Isn't that crazy? So that's where it's came from, and this all looks legit to you? Is that because sometimes these tabs are dead wrong. A lot of times they hit
some of them, but I mean,
so were they pretty accurate?
Well, it's an F sharp, so you can figure it out as we're going along here. But
solo, that's going to be the tricky one too.
Well, I mean the solo, an arpeggio, and it's just like, but like you were saying, like how you can change things from being, because I saw somebody playing like da 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 da, and it's on the B and the E string. Like I remember when I first learned Spirit of the Radio, I learned it on the B string and G. So it's like da 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 da, a super long stretch to the like 10th fret, da 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 da, and later on I learned, it's an open, Pontiff Alex over there, he does it on it's open string on the 2nd fret, on the E and the B. And it's just like, usually I think with all of us, you learn it harder than what it is if you're learning by ear.
Yeah.
And then, you see it and you're like, no, it's like, no, that's wrong. It's this. It's like, oh, I thought it was, it was this. I mean, 𝙈𝙼𝘼𝘾 said it in one of the articles. I remember he goes, his picking, what helped him out a lot was because he was learning all this like finger picking stuff.
Yeah.
But he thought it was with a pick. So he forced himself to learn how to pick like all these arpeggios and string skipping and everything like that, where the guy would be like, no, bro, it's just like this. It's banjo rolls, or flamingo.
How do you pay tribute to one of the greatest guitarists from one of the greatest rock bands of all time?
Tone Arts USA proudly brings to you the ultimate addition to your shred den, the limited edition Super Halen 1x12 stack.
Draped in the pages of a vintage 1990 Van Halen comic book, the Super Halen is a showpiece that can rock like no other.
Handcrafted by Tone Arts master luthier Sam Hill, no two Super Halen amps are the same.
Each cabinet is scientifically crafted with the highest grade materials to give you that monstrous tone that will light up the sky. It's fully loaded with a 12-inch USA-made Green Beret speaker, a total upgrade from the Celestion G12M greenbacks that we've become so accustomed to.
Each cabinet is closed back just like Eddie's, but Tone Arts USA does offer an optional open back if your heart desires.
Visit www.mastersofshred.com now to reserve yours today before you can't get this stuff no more.